not our first closure to Sacrificium. We're not at that point yet. One more track to go considering the bonus edition release. But in the original condition, yes, this would technically be the album outro, and I'm sure it'll be quite a faithful and fitting closure for an album that has expressed quite an experience in our journeys together of mutual company. Music is best enjoyed that way. And again, to whatever vantage point we have of XANDRIA familiarity or lack thereof, I hope you feel welcome in our time together as we take a much deeper exploratory lens on XANDRIA's history than I thought we would in the beginning, but warranted, I think, for future directions, not only with XANDRIA's capability in the symphonic metal territory, and one that is a high achievement in regard to me, but with their vocalist that we currently sit in the era of Discovery, Diana van Giersbergen, a favorite of mine now. Having humored 11 experiences thus far, 12 familiarized to me with respect to the subsequent full album, Theater of Dimensions, that we're getting to. I have heard one number in advance, but every encounter I've welcomed for myself, alongside all of you, has been a great entry to a never-capable operatic metal vocalist, alongside many, but Diana is a real standout in terms of her range and her vocal command and intersection quite naturally within symphonic metal, as is true of many capable European metal-based artists. Diana's no exception. A great attribution, in fact, to XANDRIA at one time, where that's no longer the case, and I do like the present vocalist, or anyone that we've explored in past circumstances as well, notably Manuela Carler. I happen to be somebody who likes every era of XANDRIA, and that's not always a sentiment I see reflected among everybody. You know, everybody has their personal favorites, and I will definitely highlight that the Diana era is certainly a standout, but I like each entrance independently. You know, there's plenty of room to, maybe I'm pulling from inspiration on a Diana quote here I saw in passing, but we can all enjoy different facets of symphonic metal. I'm butchering the quote. She's been a bit of a key inspiration to me. I don't know, just even like Instagram clips. I found I've taken a lot of her expressions and sweet sayings to heart. Anyway, she's an incredibly gifted artist that you've not welcomed her yet. This could be a first footing for you in the long-standing journey that we have in the midst of Phase 2. And it's going to be as I've been saying, notable deep dive that we're getting to. The end destination point, I believe, is some of her collaborative work. The actual endpoint besides that is her now self-titled Diana project. I'm really looking forward to that, but we're taking the first introductory steps going to that point, with that being the ultimate treasure destination, I think, with XANDRIA and alongside that, Ex Libris studies. I cannot wait to get to Ex Libris, but our first footing with Diana and exposure via Sacrificium, I think, has been quite great. I've liked what I've experienced so far, 11 numbers in. Well, yes, 11, now going on the 12th. Sweet Atonement. That one's immediately attractive on name, and I'm sure on musical delivery it will be equally as appealing. I'm sure that you'll have a great experience too. Again, music is best enjoyed in company, and XANDRIA, what a compelling entrance point for you. If this is maybe an early exposure for you to symphonic metal, or likely European metal too. And that's a place worth going down a deep road. We have on this channel, we will continue to. But I keep a broad lens into any occurrences or new developments in the larger artistic world, any country of origin, really. Europe is a particular sweet spot for me. You'll see that, I'm sure, for yourself as evidenced by Sweet Atonement. Just on presumption, I'm sure XANDRIA will deliver on this one. Each piece I've witnessed alongside all of you has been that. And certainly on Sacrificium, this has been a wonderful entry to their catalog, I think. And I'm sure many of you would agree. Oh, hang on, that's not the right button. There we go. Okay. Now Sweet Atonement's going. This one really feels like a wrap-up. Closes out on quite a palatable, generally sentiment, very approachable number.
Speak to me one last time. Smile at me once more.
Even piano medley. Engrossing for me. And good vocal association, fittingly. Really welcoming anthem. Good distance on range. I'm sensing a twist filling coming. Let's see. I love the isolation on the piano, though. Nope, continued. Added strings.
Open your weary eyes. Heal the one that broke you. Recover all goodbyes. My
Really good distance on range.
when were we raided? Would they leave us jaded and torn?
Good amplification paired with the deviation on tone. Higher forte on the notes. More deliberate strikes. I can hear that emphasis on the keys. Captured really well.
Oh, this true love story is buried in memories.
Oddly, this is becoming one of my favorite pieces on the album. Now, I'm not usually one that first and foremost gravitates toward a softer cue, but there's a lot of character to Sweet Atonement I find quite charming. Very classical.
In a sweet atonement, we slumber secretly. We'll never comprehend that we never should have been. Oh, this true love story.
The growth on her voice again with the natural vibrato feed paired very well into piano score, and the vibration on certain notes. You know, in effect, this really is a good closure to the album. It is very much a change on face. Wow. Even independent of the familiarized symphonic cues established of harder numbers in XANDRIA's catalog, Sweet Atonement still has the same factor of presence to them, and I think a perfect melding. More directly, classical music ambiance dictated in this number, but it still yet fits a modern feeling. And again, XANDRIA hits both extremes quite well on face. The metal lens amplifies the more modern voice, while a symphonic cues classical. It's just a perfect blend on intersection. This one, much more ballad focused, and it's actually quite a pleasurable retreat. You know, I've said before, I immediately favor harsher tunes in the metal variety, but I have an open door policy for really anything, and I found plenty of ballad numbers we've explored together that have been equally adventurous and capable. Sweet Atonement might be a favorite entrance for me on the album. That is hilarious, because I thought my response would be, and it's been so far with Sacrificium, the title number, Nightfall, Stardust, Temple of Hate on Scope. I mean, some really interesting pieces, Little Red Relish, some real hard pieces, or some of a bit of a mixture. But they err more on the harder extreme, and they intertwine that type of tone from time to time. This, much softer. And yet, it's such a beautiful contrast. Plus, it offers a lot on experience. Consider the force of some of those note strikes, the forte. It really, and blended with Diana's voice and the natural intersection, the higher inclines on the vocals where performed. Beautiful scaling, great growth, plenty of interesting cues too in the key combinations. Certain notes that I thought I caught what is it called? Glissade's a dance term. What am I thinking of in terms of the, or someone hits a key, it begins with a G, glissando. That's the term I'm looking for. It doesn't scale the entire keyboard. It's a very limited selection. Maybe it's not even a glissando, but it takes on that type of appearance and effect very lightly. It's quite a limited scale, but it's worked in. But the character on the piece in terms of the note transferences, or maybe is there an opposite to a glissando? It just comes across the way again of how the builds are constructed in at least certain areas. I think on the last chorus is where I really noticed it. Or maybe it's in the instrumental breaks too, I think. It's in various places within the song, but the way it's constructed instrumentally is a great aid to Deanna's voice. I think a perfect association. With a lot of character individual. These later pieces have expressed that on Sacrificium. Again, core roots to XANDRIA are readily displayed, but certainly in the origin numbers. And yet Sacrificium does transform its voice quite a bit on these later entries. I'm thinking again of Temple of Hate coming off of that, and then this one. It actually is quite a good fulfillment to the album. Establishes mood, just done a different force quite well. Very interesting. I didn't expect a piano ballad, and yet I find that one equally capable. Bit of a surprise, and I think, again, as a conclusion, it doesn't mimic the ferocity of the release in entirety, but it's still quite welcome, right? I'd love to hear if those thoughts are echoed for you down below. Again, music is a subjective experience, so feel free to share your own independent response and your point of approach. Longtime fan or initiate listener to XANDRIA, what do you think? I find it quite a welcome entrance. You know, piano scores, I remember this. Again, not just in a classic veneer of music, but, you know, back to my earlier days. Piano scores, I hear them readily often. I played through many readily often. Not to that level of prowess, I was never that good, but they're quite invigorating in terms of a dimension within symphonic metal, so whenever I see that stressed, it's quite nice. Elegant, graceful, Sweet Atonement is that, but a perfect wrap-up, I think, to Sacrificium. Not what I would foresee on Destination, just if you told me it was a ballad, I'd be like, or piano ballad, I'd be, huh? But it works. Thank you so much for watching this video. Before you bounce, feel free to drop a like and comment, subscribe to this channel with a ding on the bell, and share this video with your friends. And consider checking out the description here. There you'll find links to my other channels, as well as addresses to my other social media accounts and ways you can help support my work if you feel so inclined. May God bless you, and looking forward to when our paths cross again.